do a little commercial thing, but then who comes out? HBK Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels gives, kind of a good promo, basically talking about, hey, I know what it's like. I've been there in the ring with him. You need to not underestimate The Undertaker. You have to be focused on him. Don't let him get into your head. A little bit of a weird deal, I guess. He's basically saying, if The Undertaker gets into your head, then The Undertaker's already won. And so basically, it was a pretty interesting promo, I guess. Roman Reigns basically says, you have to remember that Undertaker retired you, but I'm going to retire The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I thought that was actually really cool. So, a lot of people, of course, are going to be like, no, why should Roman Reigns retire The Undertaker, and blah, blah, blah. Honest to God, I do want Roman Reigns to win at WrestleMania. This is my early prediction right now, that he is going to win. And is he going to get booed? Of course he is, because A, it's Roman Reigns, and B, The Undertaker should not lose at WrestleMania because reasons. It's one of those things where it's just like, I'm accepting the fact that Roman Reigns is going to be around for a while, but the fact is, I don't dislike him. I really don't. He's just one of those guys who's just really just misbooked and just treated like crap just because somebody else is booking him in the wrong way. I'm not blaming him because of how his, how he looks or how he wrestles. He actually does a great job. So, I am looking forward to that matchup at WrestleMania between Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. I think that when we are at, I think it's Max Bar, I'm trying to remember who was, I look at that and I think to myself that, Roman Reigns is going to win. A lot of people are going to get pissed. I see at least probably like AJ and Chris walking out just to cool off, and I'll probably be there just with I don't know if I would say a grin on my face, but one of those things where it's just like, hey, Roman Reigns finally got a big victory, so it's about time. And no, don't tell me that winning the WWE title was a big victory for him. His first reign against Dean Ambrose was it was kind of predictable. His win against Sheamus on Raw was good. I think they could have done it a little bit better. And then the matchup at WrestleMania with Triple H just, oh man. It definitely showed Roman Reigns' weakness, and that being not very good at chain wrestling. So I think that this is going to be the matchup that definitely gets Roman Reigns over, whether he is a heel, whether he's the babyface, something like that. We'll see. Let's see, what else we have here? Oh, we have Austin Aries, the man with the greatest package that ever lived. God help me, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. To taking on Arya Daivari. Austin Aries wins, bottom line. So he's going to be also part of that Fatal 5-Way matchup at 2:05 tonight. So I think you can kind of make a pretty good guess on who's going to win tonight. If you can't read between the lines and predict that it's going to be Austin Aries, then I think you need to get a pair of glasses. And if you have a pair of glasses, get a better pair of glasses, because, geez Louise, the writing's on the wall right now. Austin Aries is going to go to WrestleMania and take on Neville in probably what is going to be the match that steals the show. If it's not that, it'll probably be, I think it might even be Orton versus Bray. We'll see. Big Show defeats Titus O'Neil in a squash match. That was a thing. 3 choke slams to Big Show. Big Show's in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Yeah, basic to say that nobody really cared about this matchup. And I think Titus O'Neil is going to be in the Battle Royal too, so Titus will probably get eliminated in a matter of minutes, more than likely. We get into a matchup between Bayley and Nia Jax, which ends in a DQ when Nia gets, quote-unquote, overly aggressive, just beating down Bayley in the corner, and she's basically trying to send a message saying that, hey, I deserve to be in that title match at WrestleMania. So this is kind of why I thought that maybe they're going to have a matchup between Nia and Dana in the near future, just to determine who gets that fatal 4-way spot. But we'll see what happens. I think that, how they did this with Nia beating down on Bayley was actually pretty well done. I honestly don't have any problems with it, because it kind of just really makes it more interesting. And plus, a lot of people who are seeing Raw Bayley, including myself and co-host Max Beatty, where you just look at Bayley and we're just like, great. So, this is a thing. Yeah. Okay, then. So, we come to the main event segment, in which we see Stephanie McMahon saying to Foley, who did you have to fire? Who did you choose to fire? And Foley turns it around on everybody. I was not even expecting this. I thought he was just going to fire himself and say, you know what, I'm done. And we see him turn it on everybody and say, the person I've decided to fire is going to be Stephanie McMahon. And immediately I'm just like, what? Wait, what? Say that again? Says, the person I'm firing is Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie says, no, you can't do that because I'm your superior and blah, 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 blah. And basically they get into this big argument until Triple H comes out. Da-na-na, da-na-na, I am the game. You want to play me? I have 3 buttons and I use my special move, the sledgehammer. And, sorry. I kind of got a little off topic there. So Triple H comes out, basically talking down to Mick Foley, and he actually gets really personal. He talks about how, Noelle wants to be a star and how Dewey's a part of the WWE office, and basically telling Foley to tuck his tail between his legs and head backstage. Foley tries to kind of, he basically just, gets up to, he basically just looks up to, Foley just basically stands up to Triple H, basically not leaving, just saying, no, I'm not doing that. Next thing you know, here comes Mr. Sacco. Oh, boy, that was actually pretty good. Mr. Sacco on Triple H, then Stephanie McMahon low blows Mick Foley, and then he goes for the pedigree on Foley, but here comes Seth Rollins on one crutch, and it's kind of I don't know if I would say an even brawl between the two of them, but it's a brawl enough to where I think that you drive a good point here. Seth Rollins got some momentum. Triple H hits him in the leg, and then he grabs his crutch, and then Seth Rollins beats him down. And then from what I've seen, Triple H gets the final where he basically beats down on Seth Rollins' knee, keeps going, and then he leaves the ring. So Seth Rollins has to be escorted to the back, helped to the back, I should say, in order to not suffer more injuries to his knee. Pretty good way to end Raw. I think it's just one of those things where it's like, I really want to care about this matchup right now. Not that I hate it. It's just one of those things where it's like, if they do a matchup between Seth Rollins and Triple H, it's great, but it's not showing that. It's just saying that, Seth Rollins is going to come out and he's going to call out Triple H at WrestleMania. That's kind of what it's getting promoted to. I guess they really do not want to have Seth Rollins wrestle because of his knee still needing recovery. Although I will say that with something like this, he definitely should probably not be taking shots like that to his leg if he's that brutally hurt. So, in all honesty, I look at this and I think, okay, well, maybe there's a chance that Seth Rollins is going to be actually wrestling at WrestleMania. But we'll just have to wait and see. Who knows? So that was it for Raw. I think SmackDown's got a really good chance of winning tonight. So as far as like rating wars and, show-wise, I think Raw is at like a C right now. So I think that I expect SmackDown to at least be a B or higher. A couple things actually before I take off and before I do some plugs for the shows that are coming up this week. Talking a little bit about NXT, as I mentioned before, Finn Balor made his return. Another person that made his return during a NXT house show was Hideo Itami. He came out and beat down on a couple of guys that are tag team or something like that. So Hideo Itami originally was supposed to do a program, I think, with Austin Aries, if I'm not mistaken. He was even supposed to be in the Dusty Rhodes Memorial Classic. I think it was supposed to be him and I want to say him and TJ Perkins taken out. No. It was supposed to be T.J. Perkins versus T.J. Perkins and Kota Ibushi. I think, was Hideo Itami supposed to team up with Ho Ho Lun? I forget exactly. I remember he was supposed to be in that tag team tournament somehow. But he unfortunately had an injury, and now he's back, seemingly very, very well. He's seemingly doing very well right now, so that was cool to see. Again, last week, main highlight of that night was indeed Nakamura versus TJ Perkins. Go watch that matchup. But it also drives a very good point, because here's the thing. Tomorrow night on NXT, we will see Bobby Roode defend his NXT championship against Cassius Ohno, and the winner of that matchup will defend the title against Shinsuke Nakamura at NXT TakeOver Orlando. So you can definitely bet that I'm going to be tweeting. I'm going to be talking a lot about this matchup in tweet form, I guess, tomorrow night. So I'm definitely not missing on this matchup, because A, it's Bobby Roode defending the NXT Championship, and B, Cassius Ohno is getting a title shot at the NXT Championship. C, the winner of that matchup goes on to face Shinsuke Nakamura. Either way, it's a win-win right now. It's not like one of those things where it's like, oh, well, if Cassius Ohno wins, it's basically a loss. No. If it's Cassius Ohno, great. If it's Bobby Roode, great. Either way, we're getting a 5-star quality matchup, more than likely, at TakeOver Orlando. I'm looking forward to the idea of a possible rematch between Bobby Roode and Nakamura. But I also like the idea of Cassius Ohno versus Nakamura as well. Maybe they're going to save that for a later date, which I would be totally okay with. We'll have to wait and see. And the final thing I wanted to talk about was this past week during a Ring of Honor pay-per-view event. I think it was their 15th year anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. They crowned a new ROH World Champion, that being Christopher Daniels. Honestly, could not go to a better person, a more deserving wrestler than Christopher Daniels. I remember actually watching my first match that actually featured him that I watched was the Ultimate X match that him, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe had at Destination X 2006, I believe it was. And Christopher Daniels won the X Division Championship. This was a great matchup, and from there I saw all the potential and all the talent that Christopher Daniels had, and just really, he did an amazing job. I look at this and I think to myself, wow, Christopher Daniels has definitely grown this. And they mentioned, it was like 24 years in the making. That is amazing that he went 24 years gunning for this championship, and he finally wins it. He defeats Adam Cole. One other thing I definitely need to talk about is what happened after the show, where Adam Cole basically tries to kick out the Young Bucks for not helping him. And the Young Bucks said, hey, you're not our leader. We only have one leader here, and there's only one person that's elite enough to be our leader, and that being Kenny Omega. So we may get an Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega matchup in the near future. Yes, I would like to make my reservation for Heaven, please, because this matchup will be amazing. I really would like to see this matchup, in all honesty. Whether it be in a New Japan show or whether it be in the Ring of Honor, I want to see this matchup. So that is going to wrap it up for this edition of Raw Reaction. Again, guys, tune in tonight after SmackDown ends, where you can listen to our new show, Talk Smack, featuring Spencer Hart and Max Beatty. Tomorrow we will have Change the F Up with myself and Victory Bell, in which we will settle the debate of the Green Lantern. Is he a superhero or is he a super zero? We get to find that out tomorrow. So there's also that, and then there's the Smart Money podcast on Thursday featuring AJ Jensen as well as Chris Lockman, which they will be definitely talking a lot more in depth about probably the whole Christopher Daniels winning the ROH title scene. So be sure to tune in to that as well as other news that they have. On Friday will be another edition of What Did I Just Watch, which will be headlined by Logan, as well as a couple other movies that I definitely will be interested in talking about. So definitely tune into that. That is it for the week. So again, be sure to tune in Next week,